I never thought a normal Saturday trip to the mall could change the entire direction of my life, but that's exactly what happened. And before I even tell you the full story, before all the layers peel back and the ugly truth crawls into the light, you need to know something about me. I'm not the kind of person who steals anything. Not people, not families, not even parking spots. So when a woman I had never seen in my life grabbed my arm in the middle of West Hill Mall and whispered, "You stole my family," I honestly thought she was talking to someone behind me. But she meant me. And those words, those 6 words, sent a shiver through my entire body. A shiver I still feel today whenever I walk past that entrance. I remember exactly how the moment unfolded. The mall was noisy, filled with weekend chatter, kids laughing, a fountain splashing water under a skylight. I was standing near the fragrance section of Devon's department store, holding a tiny gift bag with a perfume bottle for my niece's 14th birthday. I'd just checked my phone, 2 missed calls from my sister, no big deal, and was heading toward the escalator when I felt a hand wrap firmly around my wrist. I turned, startled, expecting maybe an old classmate, a coworker, someone who'd mistaken me for someone else. But the woman facing me was a stranger, early 40s, messy brown hair, face flushed, eyes swollen like she'd been crying for hours. Her whole body trembled like she was barely holding herself together. "Excuse me?" I said, trying to pull my arm back. Her grip tightened. "You," she said, her voice cracking. "You stole my family." My heart lurched. I didn't know whether to laugh, run, or call security. What? I think you've got the wrong person." But she shook her head immediately, violently, like she couldn't believe I was even pretending. "No," she whispered, tears gathering at the corners of her eyes. "Don't lie. Not now. Please, not now." A wave of discomfort washed over me. The way people were slowing down, staring. The way this woman was looking straight into my soul, searching for something. "I'm sorry," I said carefully, "but I really don't know who you are. I didn't steal anything from you." Her lip quivered. "You did," she insisted. "You took everything." My throat tightened. Something in her voice, pain, betrayal, desperation, forced me to take her seriously. This wasn't a prank. This wasn't a mix-up at the wrong time. This was a woman who had clearly spiraled into a bad place, and for some reason, she believed I had caused it. I softened my voice. "Look, can you tell me what you mean?" She swallowed hard, then stepped closer, lowering her voice so people wouldn't hear. Her hand finally released my wrist, but she didn't step back. Instead, she looked around urgently, like she was afraid someone was watching us. "You're her, aren't you?" she whispered. "Who?" "The woman my husband left me for." I blinked. Her husband? What? No, absolutely not. I don't even know who your husband is. "You're lying," she said again. But this time, her voice was barely audible. The fight was fading. Sadness was winning. "You look exactly like the photos. He had them hidden in his cloud drive. You, her, the woman with the red scarf." I froze. Red scarf. My stomach twisted. Because, yes, I do wear a red scarf. All the time, actually. It was my grandmother's, and I wear it almost every time it's chilly outside, including that day. But what she said next made my skin crawl. "Please," she whispered, eyes shining with fresh tears. "Just tell me the truth. I won't scream. I won't cause a scene. I need to know why he chose you. Why he threw us away." I shook my head. "Ma'am, I swear to you, I am not involved with your husband." Her breathing became uneven. I could feel her falling apart right in front of me. Then she pulled something from her coat pocket. A phone. She tapped the screen, hands trembling, and held it out. Then explain this. On the screen was a blurred photograph, taken from behind, of a woman wearing a long red scarf, black jacket, and carrying a beige tote bag. My tote bag, my jacket, my scarf, my hair length, my exact silhouette. My heartbeat slammed in my ears, because that photo, that woman, she really did look like me, but it wasn't me. I didn't take that picture. That's not me, I stuttered. Then why does my husband visit the mall every Thursday afternoon? She whispered. Why does he disappear for hours? Why did he tell our son he was meeting her? I promise you, I repeated, that's not me. She stared at me for several painfully long seconds. Her eyes searched my face, my voice, my expression. She wanted to believe me. God, I could see it. But she didn't. She stepped back slowly, then exhaled a bitter laugh. He left me, she said. He moved out last week, packed everything, took our savings, and you're telling me it wasn't for you? You expect me to believe that? Her voice rose now, not screaming, but enough for two people walking by to glance over. I panicked inside. Listen, I said quickly. I can prove it's not me, really. I've never met your husband. I don't even know his name. What's his name? She narrowed her eyes, hesitating. Then she said it. A name I recognized instantly, a name that made my blood turn cold, my lips parted in shock. Because her husband was someone I did know. Not personally, not intimately, but enough for my stomach to drop, enough for the world to tilt sideways. The woman watched my reaction, and that alone was enough. There, she whispered. You do know him. No, I whispered. No, it's not like that. You stole my family, she said again, voice cracking. My knees weakened, because now the worst part wasn't that she had me confused with someone else. It was that someone who looked exactly like me was secretly meeting her husband. And I needed to know who that woman was. Before this got even worse, before my own life became the next target, her husband's name hung in the air like poison. Evan. The woman, Melissa, she finally told me her name, had said it with such raw pain, such disbelief, that for a second I forgot how to breathe. Evan, my ex-husband, the one man I promised myself I'd never think about again after the divorce. The one man who'd spent 5 years of our marriage treating me like a possession instead of a partner. The one man I'd prayed every night to escape from. And the one man I had hoped was out of my life forever. My heart pounded against my ribs as if it were trying to escape my chest. It felt surreal, impossible, too cruel to be coincidence. You know him, Melissa whispered, her voice cracking as she studied my face. I saw it the moment I said his name. I swallowed. My hands were trembling. Yes, I finally admitted, because I couldn't lie anymore. I know him, but not in the way you think. She flinched. You do, don't you? You do know him personally. I was married to him, I said softly. Her breath hitched, like someone had reached inside her lungs and squeezed. Married. Her tear-filled eyes widened, and she took a stunned step back, covering her mouth with her shaking hand. You. She blinked rapidly. You're his ex-wife? Yes. She stared at me, trying to process it, her emotions shifting from shock to confusion to something far heavier. So, it was you, she whispered, voice trembling. He went back to you. No, I said firmly. Melissa, listen to me. I haven't spoken to Evan in almost 4 years. I don't see him. I don't talk to him. I don't want anything to do with him. Her face twisted. Then why is there a woman who looks exactly like you meeting him? Why does he disappear weekly? Why is he buying gifts only on Thursdays? Why does he come home smelling like the same perfume you're wearing right now? Why? I shook my head. I don't know. I swear I don't know. Her breathing became shallow. Her eyes darted around the mall as if the world were spinning. Come with me, she whispered suddenly. What? Please, not here. She looked around again. Everyone is staring. She was right. A few people were whispering in the distance. An employee from Devon's was pretending to arrange perfume bottles while obviously watching us. Where do you want to go? I asked. The parking lot, she said. My car. Please. Normally, I would never follow a distressed stranger to a parking lot. Every survival instinct inside me would fight it. But the fear in her eyes wasn't the fear of a predator. It was the fear of a woman who had been abandoned, hurt, and lied to. And beyond that, I needed answers too. Okay, I whispered. Lead the way. The walk from the mall to the parking garage felt like a dream. She didn't talk, and I didn't push. But inside, my mind was a storm. Why was Evan meeting a woman who looked like me? Why Thursdays? Why the photo? Why the red scarf? Why did Melissa think I was the mistress? And why, after all these years, was Evan still causing damage? Once we reached a silver SUV, Melissa opened the driver's side door, tossed her bag into the passenger seat, then motioned for me to slip into the passenger side of the back seat. I don't want you in the front where people can see your face, she said quietly. I don't want anyone thinking I'm attacking you, or that you came with me willingly. Evan, he checks everything. He questions everything. That sentence alone sent chills down my spine. Evan hadn't changed, not one bit. I opened the back door and climbed in. She slid into the driver's seat but didn't turn the ignition. Instead, she reached back and handed me the phone with the blurred mall photo. I'm going to tell you everything, she whispered, and then I need you to tell me who that woman is. I stared at the photo. The red scarf, the beige tote bag, the stance, the hair length, the clothing style. If I didn't know myself, I would have sworn it was me. But I wasn't at the mall last Thursday. I hadn't been anywhere near it. I'm listening, I said softly. Melissa took a shaky breath. It started 2 months ago, she whispered. The late nights, the secretive phone calls, the random smells of perfume. I knew something was off. She stared through the windshield, eyes distant, as memories flooded her. I asked him so many times, Are you cheating? Are you hiding something? Are you okay? And every single time, he would look at me with those calm, steady eyes and say, she swallowed, Melissa, you're imagining things. My stomach clenched. Yes, that was exactly how Evan used to manipulate me. Doubt them, confuse them, turn them against their own intuition, make them question their sanity. I knew the pattern too well. Melissa looked down at her trembling hands. Then he started going out every Thursday afternoon, always at the same time. Same excuse, work project. But his office closes early on Thursdays, so I followed him. She lifted her eyes to mine. That's when I first saw her. Her voice cracked again. She was standing near the fountain in the mall, long red scarf, black jacket, same hairstyle, same tote bag. Evan walked straight up to her and hugged her like he hadn't seen her in years. My heartbeat stuttered. Melissa, I swear to you. She held up a hand. I know, just listen. She closed her eyes, took a breath and continued. I was hidden behind the pillar near the soft pretzel stand. They didn't see me. He handed her a small box, gift-wrapped. She touched his arm. They talked for several minutes. Then she left through the west exit. Did you follow her? I asked softly. No, I followed him. Her lips twisted into a sad smile. I wanted to know if he'd come home smelling like guilt. Pain flickered across her face. He did. Silence filled the car for a moment, a heavy, suffocating silence. And I never confronted him, she whispered. I didn't want to scare him away. I didn't want to lose him. Tears slid down her cheeks. I kept thinking it was my fault, she said through a quiet sob. That I wasn't enough, that maybe I'd gained weight, that maybe I didn't dress up enough, that maybe I wasn't the woman he married anymore. My jaw tightened. This was exactly how Evan worked. Break you down from the inside, make you blame yourself instead of him. He made you feel like this, I said quietly. He does that. He always did. Her eyes flicked to mine. What was he like with you? She whispered. My throat tightened. I hadn't talked about my marriage in years. I didn't want to remember. But looking at her, broken, scared, drowning, I felt something shift inside me. She deserved to know. He was, I searched for the word. Charming, sweet, caring, until he wasn't. Melissa nodded slowly, like she understood exactly what that meant. I couldn't breathe by the end, I continued. Every choice I made was questioned. Every friend was suspicious. Every outfit was inappropriate. Every plan was selfish. Every tear I shed was dramatic. Melissa closed her eyes again. Yes, she whispered. Yes, that's my life. I inhaled shakily. I left him. It nearly destroyed me. But I left. She stared at me with a mixture of admiration and sorrow. I wish I had your strength, she said softly, because I didn't leave. I stayed. And now, she handed me the phone again. Now I don't even know who I'm married to. A moment passed, then another. Then she whispered, I need to show you something else. She reached into her purse and pulled out a small folded envelope. The edges were worn, the paper creased from being opened and closed too many times. I found this in Evan's coat pocket last night. She handed it to me. Inside was a single glossy photograph. My breath caught in my throat. It was the same woman from the blurred mall photo. Only this time the picture was clear, bright, and taken in daylight. She was standing outside a coffee shop, talking to someone whose face was turned away. Same red scarf, same coat, same hair. But the face was visible, and she looked so much like me that my skin crawled. Not identical, but close enough to be my sister. Or cousin. Or a version of me in a different life. The resemblance was unsettling, unnatural, deliberate. Melissa, I whispered, my voice trembling. That's not me. But she looks almost exactly like me. She nodded slowly. I know. I looked up sharply. You know? Melissa swallowed hard. That's why I looked for you, she whispered. Not to fight, not to accuse, not to scream. Her eyes filled with fresh tears. I came to warn you. A cold ripple crawled up my spine. Warn me about what? I asked, barely breathing. She gripped the steering wheel tightly. Because my husband, she whispered, her voice trembling violently, is telling people that you came back for him. My stomach dropped. He says you want to fix things, that you want to rebuild the life you ruined, that you've forgiven him, that he's choosing you again. What? My voice cracked. Why would he say that? Melissa looked sick. Because, she whispered, I think he's obsessed with you. Still. After all these years. My skin prickled. But that's not even the worst part, she choked out. What's worse than that? I whispered. She turned toward me, her eyes wide with terror. He told our son. She swallowed hard. That he's leaving us for you. My world tilted. No, I breathed. No, no, he can't. He wouldn't. He would, she whispered. And he is. I felt my pulse hammering in my ears. He's destroying my family, Melissa cried. And he's doing it in your name. My breath hitched. A name that should have stayed buried. A past that should have died. A man I should have never seen again. And now he was dragging me, us, into a nightmare. Before I could speak, Melissa leaned forward, voice shaking. And whoever that woman is, the one pretending to be you, she's helping him. I stared at her, at the photograph in my hand, at the shadow of a face that looked too much like mine. My blood ran cold. What does he want? I whispered. Melissa's voice broke completely. I think, she said, trembling violently, he wants you back. She wiped her tears. And I think someone out there is making sure you two meet again. I don't remember how long I sat inside Melissa's SUV after she said those words. Minutes, maybe seconds, maybe a lifetime. He wants you back. The sentence clung to the air like smoke. I stared at her. This woman I had never met before today, crying in the front seat, clutching the steering wheel like it was the only thing keeping her sane. A woman who believed I was the reason her husband's world was collapsing. But now she finally understood. I wasn't the enemy. I was the shadow he'd dragged into her life. I need to understand, I whispered. Why now? Why, after all these years, would he suddenly obsess over me again? Melissa opened her eyes slowly. She looked exhausted, tired in her bones. He talks about you when he thinks I'm asleep, she said quietly. Sometimes he whispers your name. Sometimes he gets up at night and walks around the house, searching, as if he's expecting you to be standing in the hallway, waiting for him. My stomach twisted. I haven't contacted him. I swear to you. I believe you, she said softly. Now I do. She wiped her eyes again, took a breath, and said, but there's something else. Something worse. She reached into the glove compartment and pulled out a small notebook. It was leather-bound and worn at the edges. Something about it made my skin prickle. He carries this everywhere, she whispered. I only saw it once, last week. It fell out of his coat. I grabbed it before he noticed. She handed it to me. Open it. My breath unsteady, I flipped the cover open. The first page was blank. The second page held a date, 4 months ago. Then a list. Things she used to love. Red scarf, black coffee, vanilla candles, Sunday markets, photography, gold studs, long walks after the rain, almond lotion, the lake house. My blood chilled. These were all things I loved, but not anymore, not for years. I kept flipping through. There were dozens of pages filled with memories, my memories, except they were written like someone was trying to study me, learn me, understand me, recreate me. He wrote these, I whispered. Melissa nodded. There's more, she said quietly. Keep going. I turned the page. A heading stared back at me, written in bold strokes. How she used to dress. Under it, red scarf, beige tote, soft waves hair, black boots, Neutral nail colors, gold chain, oversized cardigan, pastel dresses, denim jacket, light perfume, jasmine. In the corner of the page was a date, 3 months ago. My throat tightened. He'd written all this, recently, not during our marriage, not after the divorce, now, as if the woman he married after me wasn't enough, as if he needed someone shaped in the image of the woman he'd broken. Why would he do this? I whispered, my voice barely audible. Melissa hesitated. Then she said something that didn't make sense at first. He says he misses his first real home. I frowned. What does that mean? I don't know, she said helplessly. But every time we argue, every time I ask him where he's been, he says he deserves to be happy like he was before. Before. With me. He was rewriting the past, rebuilding the memories he destroyed, reimagining me as the woman he thought he deserved. This doesn't explain the impersonator, I muttered. Melissa's hands curled into fists. Oh, it does. She reached into her purse again and pulled out a folded sheet of paper, crumpled and tear-stained. I found this on his desk. I don't think he meant for anyone to see it. She handed it to me. On it were several printed photographs, all of the same woman, the mimic, taken from various angles, crossed out, circled, annotated. Under one, closer, needs shorter hair. Under another, red scarf too long, fix. Under another, smile more, she doesn't smile enough. Under another, almost right. My vision blurred with horror. He's forcing her? I whispered. Or paying her? Or teaching her? Or... I don't know, Melissa said. But someone is helping him recreate you. I dropped my head into my hands. A memory flashed. A flash of Evan's voice. You're my perfect match. I could replace everyone else. But not you. I'd thought it was a twisted compliment. One of the many manipulative things he used to say. Now I realized it was a warning. Melissa's voice broke through my spiraling thoughts. Do you want to see her? She whispered. My head snapped up. You've seen her face, she said. Clearer than that photo. You saw her at the coffee shop, talking to someone. She shook her head. No, I didn't follow her then, but the next week, I did. She pulled up a video on her phone. Watch. She handed it to me. My breath caught. The video showed the woman, the impersonator, walking toward the mall exit. She looked over her shoulder, almost like she was checking if Melissa was following, and then stepped outside. The recording was shaky but clear enough. She turned her head just enough for the camera to capture her profile. My heart stopped. She didn't just look like me. She looked like a younger version of me. Same smile lines, same nose shape, same soft jaw, same way of tucking her hair behind her ear. It was uncanny. Melissa whispered, You see it now, don't you? Why I thought it was you. I couldn't speak. She wears everything on his list, Melissa continued, her voice hollow. She cut her hair exactly when he noted it. She changed her style. Even her posture looks like yours. He's grooming her, I said softly, horrified. He's molding her into his ideal version of me. Melissa nodded, her chin trembling. But who is she? I whispered. That, Melissa said, is what I need your help figuring out. I pulled my gaze away from the phone. Why me? Because, she whispered, you're the only one who knows the kind of man he really is. You know how he plans, how he manipulates, how he studies people. If he's obsessed with you, you're the blueprint. A cold weight settled in my stomach. Did he ever mention her name? I asked. Yes, Melissa said, swallowing hard. But just once, by accident. What name? She hesitated. He called her Lila. I stiffened. Lila? My hands went numb. Melissa noticed. Do you know her? I forced myself to breathe. No, I lied. No, I don't. But that wasn't true. There was a reason that name made my skin crawl. Lila was the name of someone from my past, someone I wished I had forgotten, someone I hoped had forgotten me, a woman who had once been close to me, too close, a woman who had envied me, copied me, mimicked me, someone who always said, I wish I had your life. My heartbeat thundered. Where did he meet her? I managed to ask. Melissa shook her head. He won't say. He won't even admit she exists. He keeps claiming I'm paranoid. Of course he did. That was Evan's specialty. A cold dread slid up my spine. Because if this Lila was the same person from my past, then she wasn't with Evan by accident. She knew exactly who I was. She knew exactly how to copy me. And she knew how to slip into places where I had once existed. Melissa looked at me, confusion flickering across her tired eyes. What is it? She asked softly. You look like you've seen a ghost. I debated lying again, but the truth was too heavy to hold. There was a woman, I said slowly, years ago, when Evan and I were together. Someone who admired me, followed me, copied my hair, my clothes, even my schedule. Someone who, Melissa's eyes widened. You think it's her? I shook my head. I don't know. I hope not. But inside, my gut screamed the truth. I had seen this pattern before. Someone who learns your habits, copies your clothes, studies your life, wants to slip into your place. But why now? After all these years? Melissa's voice trembled. If it's really her, what does she want? I exhaled shakily. I don't know, I whispered. But whatever it isn't good. We sat in silence for a moment, the tension thick enough to choke on. Then Melissa wiped her face and said, We need to find her. I nodded, but before I could speak, she continued, And we need to talk to Evan. My stomach dropped. No, I said immediately. Melissa, that's a terrible idea. We have to, she said, desperation creeping back into her voice. He won't admit anything to me. But if he sees you... No, I repeated. Absolutely not. He might tell the truth. Or he might do something worse, I snapped. Silence. Melissa stared at me like she suddenly understood something. You're afraid of him. I inhaled sharply. She wasn't wrong, not totally, but fear wasn't the only reason. I'm not afraid of him, I whispered. I'm afraid of his reactions, his anger, his delusions, his ability to twist anything to his advantage. Melissa swallowed. So, what do we do? I met her eyes. For the first time since this nightmare began, I felt an old part of myself awake, the part that survived him, the part that escaped, the part that learned how to fight back. We don't confront him yet, I said firmly. We find the woman imitating me first. Melissa stared. How? I looked down at the photographs in my lap, the scarf, the hair, the clothes, the coffee shop, the mall. She's not meeting him randomly, I whispered. She's meeting him in places I used to go. And then it hit me, hard. He's recreating our old life. Melissa's face crumpled. That's why he kept those pages in that notebook, she whispered. He was giving her instructions. He's molding her into me, I said, piece by piece. But why? Melissa asked. Why would he do that when you left him? My lips parted, because there was only one answer, only one horrifying possibility. One day, I whispered, the words feeling like ice on my tongue. He told me something I never forgot. Melissa leaned in. What did he say? My throat tightened. He said, I whispered, if you ever leave me, I'll find a way to bring you back, one way or another. Melissa stared at me, horror filling her face. Do you think? She hesitated, voice shaking. He's trying to replace her with you? No, I whispered. Her eyes widened. He's trying to replace you with me. Melissa froze. My breathing quickened. And I think, I whispered, voice trembling, that woman, whoever she is the bridge between us. Melissa's face went pale, her breath hitched, tears welled again. Before I could comfort her, her phone buzzed loudly, vibrating violently between us. She grabbed it, glanced down, and her face drained of all color. What? I whispered. What happened? She turned the screen toward me. A text from Evan. Where are you? I saw you talking to her. Bring her to me. My blood iced. He saw us? Melissa choked out. Oh my God. He was watching. He was here. He saw us. The phone buzzed again. Another message. Now. I felt the air in the car thicken. My lungs tightened. The third message came instantly. Or I'll come find you. The fourth. Both of you. Melissa's breathing became frantic. Panic flooded her eyes. What do we do? She whispered, hand shaking violently. What do we do? He's coming. He's coming. I grabbed her hand. Listen to me, I said, my voice trembling but steady. He doesn't find us. But... No, I said firmly. We leave. Now. She nodded rapidly. I reached for the door, then froze, because standing at the far end of the parking garage, half hidden behind a concrete pillar, was a woman, red scarf, black jacket, beige tote, her head tilted, her eyes locked onto mine. And she smiled, my smile. A chill ran through me so violently, I nearly dropped the notebook. Melissa, I whispered, don't look. Just drive. Why, drive? She turned the key with trembling fingers. The engine roared. As we pulled out, the woman didn't move. She just watched us, watched me, smiling like she had been waiting for this moment, waiting for me, waiting for us to run. Melissa's SUV shot out of the parking structure like a shaken animal escaping a hunter. Her hands were trembling on the wheel, knuckles white, breath short and panicked. I kept turning back to look through the rear window, expecting to see that woman, my mirror, still watching us. But she was gone, which somehow felt worse. The unknown is always more terrifying than what you can see. Melissa's voice finally broke the silence. He saw us, she whispered. He saw us talking. He was there. He was close enough to text me. Oh my God. He was watching from somewhere else, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. He didn't approach us. That means he doesn't want a direct confrontation yet. Yet? Melissa's voice cracked. What does that mean? It means he has a plan. The words tasted bitter. Evan never acted without a plan. Even his cruelty had architecture. Melissa wiped at her face, inhaled sharply, and said, Where do we go? What do we do? What if he's following us? What if he's... Pull into that grocery store lot, I said, pointing ahead. Somewhere public. She nodded quickly, turned in, and parked between two cars near the back. The engine hummed loudly in the quiet between us. I turned toward her. Melissa, we need to talk about Lila. Her shoulders slumped, defeated. Do you know who she is? I hesitated, because the truth was a knot I'd avoided for years. Finally, I said the words that haunted me the moment I heard that name. Yes, I know her. Melissa sucked in a breath. Who is she? I stared out the window, watching a family walk out of the automatic doors holding bags of groceries. The kind of ordinary scene that made the nightmare we were in feel unreal. She's my cousin, I said softly. Melissa blinked. Your cousin? Yes, I swallowed. On my father's side. That woman, she whispered, shaking her head in disbelief. That woman pretending to be you is your family? I nodded. And that's not even the worst part. Melissa wiped her eyes, waiting. Lila wasn't raised with me. I took a shaky breath. She didn't grow up in my house, didn't have my mother, my siblings, my stability. Melissa frowned. Why not? Because my father had an affair, I said quietly. Years before I was born. Lila was the result. Melissa's lips parted in shock. He never claimed her publicly, never stepped up, never brought her into the family. Her mother raised her alone, and whenever she asked about him, he brushed it under the rug, pretended she was a mistake. Oh my God, I nodded, eyes burning. I found out when I was 13. She was 15. She showed up at a family event, uninvited, with her mother. That's how I discovered she existed. And that day, I saw the way she looked at me. How? Melissa whispered. Like I stole the life she should have had. Silence filled the SUV again, heavier now. Lila was obsessed with my father's family, I continued. With the house we lived in, with the clothes we wore, how my mom treated me, how my siblings and I were raised. She watched us with hunger in her eyes. Melissa shivered. She didn't just envy me, I said softly. She wanted to be me. What happened later? Melissa asked. She tried to copy everything, I said. My hobbies, my clothes, my haircut, even my handwriting. She'd show up at places I went, pretend she just happened to be there. That's disturbing. It got worse in college. I swallowed hard. She followed me once, to a date. She actually sat nearby and pretended to study. Later, she added the guy on social media and tried talking to him. Melissa's hand flew to her mouth. My mother got involved after that, told Lila's mom to keep her away from me, that she needed help, boundaries, something. And did it stop? Yes, for years. I moved away, changed numbers, built a new life. I thought she was gone. I rubbed my forehead as the weight of the past pressed on me. But then I met Evan. Melissa stiffened. And Lila came back? Not immediately. She didn't know I was married until the wedding photos went online. After that, she reached out, congratulated me, wanted to meet up, wanted to rebuild our connection. I said no. She was jealous, Melissa whispered. She always was. And Evan, he found her? I inhaled shakily. Evan has a talent for finding vulnerability. He probably followed social media breadcrumbs. Maybe he recognized the resemblance. Maybe she contacted him first. I don't know. My stomach twisted. But I know this. Evan loves control, And Lila spent her whole life longing for belonging, for a family, for what I had, and Evan knows exactly how to exploit that. Melissa's voice trembled. He could have told her anything. Yes, I said quietly. He could have told her I didn't deserve the life I had, that she should have been the one, that she could be chosen, that she could take my place in a way she never could as a child. And she believed him. She always wanted to be me. He gave her permission. Melissa wiped her eyes. So she's not just acting like you. She's trying to replace you. Exactly. A silence fell between us. This one deeper, darker, filled with implications none of us wanted to face. Then Melissa whispered, "But why would Evan want that? Why would he want a replica of you?" I stared at her. "Because he never got over me," I said. "And because he can't control me anymore. He wants a version he can control." Melissa flinched. "And you think Lila is emotionally vulnerable enough to fall into that?" "She always was." Melissa nodded slowly. My God, this is worse than I imagined. I looked down at the notebook still in my hands, the pages listing my old habits, my preferences, my style. "He wrote these instructions for her," I whispered. "He's shaping her piece by piece." Melissa leaned her head back against the seat, eyes filling again. "Do you think she loves him?" she asked. I shook my head. "She loves the idea of being someone else, and he loves having someone to mold." "Yes." A chill swept through the car. "What does she want from me?" I whispered. "Maybe she wants your history," Melissa said. "Your memories, your identity, your place." "Or maybe," I said softly, "she wants Evan to believe she is me, that she's the version of me he always wanted." Melissa stared at me. "That's sick." "It is." Another silence. Finally, Melissa said the thing neither of us wanted to admit. "If Lila is working with him, you're both in danger." I nodded. "Which is why you can't go home," I said. Her eyes widened. "What? Why?" "He texted you. He knows you're with me. He probably expected you to bring me to him." Melissa's face crumpled. "Oh God," she whispered. "What have I done?" "Nothing wrong," I said firmly. "You trusted your instincts. You asked for help. You didn't know how deep this goes." Tears streamed down her face. "What about my son?" she whispered. "He's home. He's with Evan." My heart stopped. "Melissa, is he safe?" She covered her mouth. Sobs shook her body. "I don't know," she cried. "I don't know anymore." My pulse hammered. "We need to get him," I said urgently. "Now!" Melissa's eyes snapped to mine, frantic. "But what if Evan is there?" "I'll go with you," I said. "But we go prepared. Lila might be there too." The thought sent a shudder up my spine. Melissa nodded slowly. "Okay, okay." She wiped her face and took a deep breath. "I need to tell you something," she whispered. I turned toward her. "What is it?" She hesitated, then said, "The reason I found that mall photo, the reason I even suspected something was wrong, was because of my son." I frowned. "What do you mean?" She reached into her purse with trembling hands and pulled out a small drawing, crumpled, made with crayons. She handed it to me. My stomach dropped when I saw it. A child's drawing of Evan, Melissa, their son, and another woman. The woman had long hair like mine, a red scarf, a beige tote, a big smile. It was unmistakable. "Where did he draw this?" I asked. "Last week," Melissa whispered. "At school. His teacher called me in. She said he kept drawing Daddy's friend." I felt sick. He said she comes to their house when I'm not home. My blood pressure dropped. "He sees her," I whispered. "In your home?" Melissa nodded, sobbing. "She plays with him, reads to him, brings him cookies. He said she smells nice like flowers." My breath caught. Jasmine perfume, my signature scent. Lila was copying everything, even the way I smelled. "And he drew her again yesterday," Melissa whispered. "Only this time, he added something." She flipped the drawing over. On the back was a second crayon picture. Evan, the boy, and the woman with the red scarf. I scanned it and froze, because in this drawing, Melissa was not there. "I asked him why he didn't draw me," she whispered. Her voice cracked. "And he said," her face crumpled, "he said, Daddy said she's going to be my new mommy." My heart shattered. "Melissa," I whispered, "we need to get your son, right now." She nodded, wiping tears with shaking hands. I started to grab my seatbelt, then stopped. A dark shape moved slowly behind our SUV. My breath stilled. "Melissa," I whispered, "don't turn around." She froze. "What? Why?" "Because someone is standing behind the car." Her entire body locked in terror. I slowly turned my head to the right mirror. My blood turned to ice. A woman stood directly behind us, red scarf, black jacket, beige tote, head tilted. She was smiling. But this time she wasn't smiling like me. She was smiling like she owned me. And then she lifted her hand. In it was Melissa's son's backpack. I stopped breathing. "Melissa," I whispered. She finally turned, saw the backpack, and screamed. Melissa's scream tore through the quiet grocery store parking lot. Raw, primal, terror-filled. I whipped my head back toward the rear window. But the woman, Lila, was already walking away, calmly, almost casually, as if she'd simply dropped something off for a friend. She held Melissa's son's backpack in one hand, swinging it lightly by the strap as she crossed the lot, her red scarf trailing behind her in the wind. Melissa threw open her door. "Jamie!" she cried, sprinting out into the open. "Jamie! Jamie! Melissa, wait!" I scrambled after her. The backpack lay on the asphalt where Lila had placed it, neatly, carefully, right behind our car. Like a warning, like a message. Melissa dropped to her knees, grabbing it with shaking hands. "Oh my God! Oh my God!" She fumbled with the zipper, yanking it open. "Please! Please!" I knelt beside her. The backpack was full. Snacks, crayons, a folded sweatshirt. Just normal things, except there was a small envelope tucked in the front pocket. An envelope with Melissa's name written on it. Her hands trembled so violently she couldn't open it. "Here," I whispered, taking it gently. "Let me." I tore the seal. A single sheet of paper slid out. Scrawled in handwriting I recognized immediately. Evans were 3 chilling words. "Come. Alone. Now." Melissa's breath hitched so sharply she choked. Her face drained of color. "No," she whispered. "No, I can't. I can't go. He has Jamie." Oh God, he has my baby. Her shoulders collapsed inward. She sobbed, hands gripping the backpack like it was her son himself. We have to go, she cried. We have to get him. He'll hurt him. He'll hurt my boy if I don't. He won't hurt him, I said firmly, lifting her chin so she met my eyes. Evan never hurts what he sees as leverage. He needs Jamie. He needs me, she whispered, shaking. He wants me to come alone. Yes, because he knows you're scared. I took a breath. And he knows I'm with you. That's what he doesn't want. Melissa swallowed, panic overwhelming her. What do we do? What do we do? I stood slowly, forcing my mind to go still. Icy, strategic, focused. The way it used to when I lived with Evan. The way it had to in order to survive. We go, I said. But not blindly. Not his way. She wiped her tears. Where? Where is he? I turned toward the envelope. There was a second slip of paper tucked inside, folded twice, almost overlooked. I unfolded it. An address. My breath froze. It wasn't Melissa's house. It wasn't a hotel. It wasn't Evan's office. It was the lake house, I whispered. Melissa looked up sharply. What? I felt sick. It's the cabin Evan and I used to go to, I said. When things were good, when he wanted to pretend we were in some romantic fantasy. Melissa's jaw clenched. He's taking my son to your old life? Yes. My voice was hollow. He's recreating everything. A long, shaking breath escaped her lips. We have to go, she said. Please, please. Yes, I said. But listen to me carefully. I grabbed her shoulders. Do not let him see fear, not even for a second. Because if he senses it, he'll twist it, he'll use it, he'll corner you with it. Okay, she whispered, trembling. And do not apologize for anything. Not for this. Not for showing up. Not for breathing. Okay. And Melissa, I squeezed her shoulders. Do not trust anything he says, not a word. She nodded. A car horn honked in the distance. A toddler cried near the entrance. Life moved on around us like nothing was happening, but our world was about to shatter. We drove without speaking for nearly 20 minutes. The GPS guided us down winding roads lined with pines that looked darker than I remembered. Every turn felt like sinking deeper into a place I'd vowed never to return. Finally, the lake came into view. Still, glossy, eerily quiet. The cabin stood near the shoreline, its dark wood exterior half hidden by trees. Lights were on inside. Melissa inhaled sharply. He's here. Yes. And Jamie? Her voice cracked. He's probably inside with Lila, I said quietly. Melissa's hands curled into fists. Why her? Why would he let her near my son? Because she wants to be me, I said. And in Evan's mind, that makes her safe. That's sick. Yes, I said. And we're walking into it. She parked about 50 feet away from the cabin. The engine died. Silence swallowed us. Are you ready? I whispered. No, she admitted. But I have to be. We stepped out of the car. The cold air bit at my skin. Leaves crunched under our feet. The lake lapped quietly against the shore as if whispering a warning. My heart pounded, but my mind was steady. We approached the front steps. Melissa lifted her hand to knock, but the door opened on its own, and Lila stood there. The face I used to know. Seeing memories walk in living skin is one of the most disorienting experiences a human can have. That's what it felt like. Instant nausea, instant vertigo, instant violation. Lila stood in the doorway wearing my old style of jeans, a cream sweater I used to own, my red scarf, jasmine perfume, hair curled the way I used to do it, soft makeup, my favorite gold studs. Her eyes were flat and glassy, but her smile was warm, too warm. "Hi," she said softly. "You're right on time." Melissa's breath stuttered. "Where is my son?" Lila tilted her head, the same way she did as a teenager when she wanted attention. "In the living room, he's fine, he likes me." "That's not the point," Melissa snapped. "Where is he?" Lila blinked like the question annoyed her. Then, she widened the door. "Come in." Melissa rushed past her. I followed. But Lila slid in front of me. "Not you," she said quietly. I froze. Melissa spun around. "She's coming with me." "No." Lila's voice darkened, layered with something dangerously close to resentment. "This is family business." My pulse hammered. "Lila," I said, keeping my voice steady. "Let me through." Her eyes filled with something I couldn't read. Jealousy, longing, fury. "You left," she whispered. "You got the life, the family, the love, and you left it behind like trash. Do you know what it was like, watching everything I should have had go to you?" I swallowed. "This is not the time." "No!" Lila snapped, breath shaking. "I loved him first." Melissa stiffened. "Evan?" "No." Lila's eyes locked onto mine. "Dad." The word crushed something inside me. "My father?" I whispered. "He loved you," she said, voice trembling with old wounds. "He gave you everything. He ignored me. He pretended I didn't exist." Tears filled her eyes. "You had a family. I had scraps." Pain stabbed through my chest, deep, suffocating. "Lila, you were a child. What he did was wrong. He hurt you too." But she shook her head violently. "No, you hurt me. Every day you existed, every day you were alive, you were proof of everything I didn't have." Melissa grabbed my arm. "Please," she whispered, "we need to get Jamie." I nodded. "Lila," I said gently. "Move." She stepped aside only an inch, so close I could smell my old perfume on her skin. "Evan said you'd come," she whispered. "He said this would finally bring you home." The words chilled me. "Home?" I repeated. Lila smiled. "This isn't about Melissa, or Jamie, or even me." Then she leaned close, breath warm at my ear. "It's about you and Evan, just like he always wanted." Melissa's face twisted in horror. I shoved past Lila and moved into the house. The living room was almost exactly as I remembered. Same furniture, same layout, same scent of wood and old blankets. But two things were different. One, toys were scattered on the rug. Two, Evan stood at the far wall, waiting. Jamie sat on the couch holding a stuffed dinosaur, eyes wide and confused. "Mommy?" he whispered. Melissa ran to him and pulled him into her arms, sobbing into his hair. I turned slowly toward Evan. He smiled, that same cold, perfect smile that had once convinced me to ignore every instinct screaming for escape. "You came," he said softly. My stomach twisted. I came for the boy, I said. He looked past me, at Melissa, at Jamie, then back at me. No, he said. You came because you always belonged here. I steadied my voice. I don't belong anywhere near you. He stepped closer. Lila drifted behind him like a shadow, eyes fixed on me with a disturbing mixture of admiration and hatred. Evan lifted his hand and held up a wedding ring. My wedding ring. The one I threw into the lake 4 years ago. I kept it, he whispered. I knew you'd come back for it. Melissa gasped, tightening her hold on Jamie. That's insane, she hissed. She doesn't want you. She left you. Evan's eyes flicked to her, cold, deadly. She left because she was confused, weak, but she's stronger now. She sees the truth. My jaw clenched. He stepped toward me again. Come home, he whispered. No, I said. His smile vanished, and the look in his eyes changed, darkened, warped into something hungry and dangerous. She was supposed to bring you alone, he said quietly. You disobeyed. I don't belong to you, I said. Not then, not now. Lila placed her hand on Evan's arm. It's okay, she whispered. I'm here. Evan shrugged her off. She's not you, he snapped. Her face twisted, and Melissa realized it too. Lila wasn't trying to steal Evan. She wasn't even trying to steal his love. She was trying to steal mine. Evan grabbed the ring tighter. You're coming with me, he said. You always belonged to me. My heart pounded. Evan, stop. You're scaring Jamie. I'm scaring the wrong people, he said. He lunged. Melissa screamed. Jamie cried. And behind Evan, in the doorway, Lila stepped forward, holding a gun. Nobody leaves, she whispered. For a split second, the world stopped moving. The gun in Lila's trembling hand glinted beneath the cabin's dim light. Her fingers were curled too tight around the grip, knuckles white, breath shaking. She wasn't aiming at anyone in particular yet, but she didn't have to. The message was clear. No one leaves. Jamie screamed, burying his face into Melissa's chest. Melissa wrapped her arms around him protectively, but she was frozen, eyes darting between Evan and Lila in terror. Evan didn't freeze. He smirked. Like this chaos, this horror, was exactly what he'd planned. I stepped forward carefully, palms raised. Lila, I whispered, put the gun down. You don't want to do this. Her gaze snapped to mine, and in her eyes I saw something that broke me, pain, desperation, and the belief that she finally had something worth losing. I won't let you walk out again, she whispered, voice cracking. Not this time. Not ever again. Lila, listen to me. No. Tears spilled down her cheeks. You left me behind. My whole life you were the favorite. The lucky one. The one everyone protected. I was nothing. I was nobody. Her breath trembled, the gun wavering. And then, he found me. She looked at Evan, admiration shining like a child seeking approval. He said I mattered, she whispered. He said I could be someone. He said I could be you. Evan's expression tightened, annoyed by her emotional outburst. Lila, he said sharply, focus. She straightened instantly, like a soldier responding to command. Melissa buried Jamie's face into